After rewatching some of this game, the Philadelphia Eagles Pittsburgh Steelers matchup in Philly, where the Pittsburgh Steelers lost and fell to 10-4, I'm not so down on this football team, and I don't think the sky is coming down and the world is crashing down on us as Steeler fans. I think there is still a ton of hope for this Pittsburgh Steelers team, and I think they get back on track in the city of Baltimore. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. Let's dive in here. And after yesterday's loss, after I take all the emotion out of that loss yesterday, and really take a step back. We did the live show. I was a little bit harsh on the Steelers, and I think it was warranted at the time. I think that the chances that they had were squandered, and they really shot themselves in the foot. But after I took a step back and I rewatched a little bit of it, and I kind of took everything in what they were doing offensively, defensively, special teams wise, I really thought the schematics were bad and that they shot themselves in the foot a little bit, and they were still competitive with one of the league's best teams, a championship caliber football team. And I think that what you did in that game has to be something that you can take away and build on. And I don't think this crushes this football team. I don't think this loss totally dismantles this football team. I think that there's still a lot of chances for the Steelers. They are the only one within the AFC North Division right now that has an X by their name inside of the standings. Right here in front of me, the Pittsburgh Steelers have that X. That means they are a playoff team now. It doesn't matter if they lose every single football game from here on out. They are a playoff team. Done. That's it. And that's exciting. This is the second straight year the Steelers have made the playoffs, but this year you can feel a little bit more optimistic because of what this team has been able to do, how complete of a football team they seem to be. And again, this is a loss. This was a loss that was embarrassing, in my opinion, at times. But again, I don't think the Eagles beat the Steelers. I think the Steelers beat the Steelers. I think the Steelers took it and really let themselves down. That penalty with Darnell Washington when they had the ball down there off the turnover from the Pittsburgh defense. Or I'm not sure if it was the punt or the fumble from the runner. From Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure which one that was, but they had it down there. That could have been 7 points when Darnell Washington and Calvin Austin both received personal foul penalties. That fumble of Najee Harris down there close. Those two plays kill you, but that ties the game. That makes this game a lot different. That puts the Eagles now into a different mode. This changes the complexity of this game. And I got to take in the variable yet for another week. And this isn't just about the Pittsburgh Steelers. This isn't just about the Philadelphia Eagles. The officiating in the NFL is absolutely horrid. And there are too many rules. There are too many rules in place. And there's too many things that you can get a foul called on you for. There was a play with Mon Adams to where he was trying to hit the gap. However, was blocked by his guy that was over top of him and blocked over top of the center. And I get what the rule is. I understand the rule. But man, dude, I just don't understand if you're blocked over it from the offensive player, from the punt team player. If you are blocked and pushed that way, I don't know how that could be a personal foul penalty on the defender. It was nothing malicious. It was nothing done on purpose. I get that. I don't like that rule. I understand why it was called, but I don't understand why it's even in the rule book. I don't get it. I don't get the way that some of the way these penalties are called, and then blatantly you see TJ Watt being body slammed by the tackle. Literally body slammed. I can show you. I'm going to make it a short, I think, just because of how weird and blatant and odd it was, in my opinion. And that's not called. I just think that there's total inconsistency with the officiating. And this isn't just for the Steelers. This is across the league. And when you start to really dictate and change the complexity of football games in terms of the penalties called and how that really changes the pace and really determines the outcome, in my opinion, in a lot of the cases here. I really think that becomes an issue. And I understand that these guys in the NFL really can't mention it, really can't talk about it because they'll get fined by the league. But I can. And I think it's absolutely an embarrassment by the NFL to continually wheel out a product like this, and to continually allow these referees, continually allow them to change games. And again, I'm not saying the Steelers would have won or lost with that, with different officiating or less or more penalty, whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm not getting into that conversation. But it's just mighty odd that some of the penalties in some of these situations come up. And again, this is all across the league, and I have to mention it. The officiating is absolutely rancid. The NFL should be utterly embarrassed, and it's really starting to take away from the game. It's starting to make it very hard to watch, considering there is a flag on every single fucking play, and that becomes taxing to watch. That becomes hard to watch, where you're biting your nails wondering which team got that penalty. Who's going to get this big penalty? How's this penalty going to change the whole dynamic of the game? It's just not fun. It makes it very sour in my mouth, man. I hate it, but that's a conversation for another day. But I had to mention it here on a Monday after this loss, and after you've seen it, you got to see, you see it firsthand each and every week. But again, back to some of what Pittsburgh did yesterday against the Philadelphia Eagles. It wasn't all bad. It wasn't all doom and gloom. And I think there's some valuable lessons the Pittsburgh Steelers team can take away from that loss yesterday, and something they can build off of heading into Baltimore to win this division, win this AFC North crown. But there were some injuries again. KZ had a little bit of a shoulder. You saw him take a big hit. Well, try to inflict a big hit, and it backfired a little bit. He had a little bit of a shoulder there. You saw some other players, Dante Jackson with a back. We don't know the status of that. However, DK Pittsburgh Sports out of Pittsburgh reported after the game that he had spoken to TJ Watt, and TJ did have x-rays and examinations done on that foot after the game. And according to DK, he was not overly concerned with that injury. So according to DK, hopefully that will be a non-factor moving forward, or just something small, a small bump from associated with play, as Mike Tomlin would like to call it. Hopefully that's the answer. And hopefully there's nothing more said or done with that foot. Hopefully TJ Watt is a full go in Baltimore, because he's a player that you take out of the equation and it equals doom and gloom, my friends. He does too much not to have him out there on the football field. And then you fast forward to this Baltimore game where TJ Watt last year ended his season with a significant knee injury, and he wasn't able to continue after getting rolled up on during a play. And that's where things went south there for the Steelers. They won that game. They were able to make the playoffs. They were able to head into Buffalo, but they weren't the same football team without TJ Watt. They were so beat up. And that's my concern right now, if you're the Steelers, is the amount of injuries that have been piling up here over the last couple weeks for a team that relatively stayed healthy throughout the whole regular season here in 2024. I would really like to see them wrap this division up this coming Saturday in Baltimore. I'd love to see that. I would love to see them close the deal here and really secure that divisional championship. We know the playoffs are secured, but if they secure that division, I think honestly it's time to really start to try to get healthy here, really start to maybe give some players some time off, significant time off, allow them to heal, allow them to get back to 100% and really make a real run at this thing. And Steelers fans, yesterday I was on the edge. I was on the cliff, man. I was ready to hurl myself out of there, man. I was just like, oh my Lord, this is so bad. It was such an embarrassing loss. But I'm going to take a little step back, and I did take a little step back, and I want you to realize this. The Pittsburgh Steelers are fine. They are still the most complete football team in this league. I stand behind that. I'm not going to change that thought. I really believe that when I look at this roster. But there are some things the Steelers need to fix, and they understand it, and I don't think they're overly worried. I think that they're going to be able to get it done, and I think that they're going to be able to really right this ship. And under veteran leadership, like guys like Russell Wilson, Cam Hayward, and company, I don't think the Steelers are going to be overly freaked out, and I don't think this is going to be one of those losses that just crushes your football team and destroys what you've built so far. I think that they are too calm, too ready for the moment, too too many veterans on this football team, guys, that have been in these big moments. And I think it's going to be A-okay. I really, truly do. So let's move on. Let's move into Baltimore week. It's going to be an exciting week here on the channel. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Truly appreciated all the new subscribers. Welcome again. We appreciated those super chats last night. We appreciated all the comments and the likes. But let's make tonight even better here as we dive into Baltimore week in what is a massive, massive week for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they try to win that division crown. So let's sweep this Philadelphia Eagles loss under the rug, and guess what? I already forgot it. Screw it. We're done with it. 10-4. The Pittsburgh Steelers sit 10-4 with a big chance to do something special in the city of Baltimore. So until tonight, guys, for Steel City Live around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace, my friends.